Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to Brushing Up with Shaun. I am Shaun, and I'm going to teach you how to paint here. So we are still working on more and more clouds, and today's we're going to add some good colors, a little bit different of a step, different technique, but just stay along with me. Have fun, enjoy what you're doing, and remember, anyone can paint. So today's painting actually kind of inspired me on just the drive home. I was just kind of driving along, normal, boring routine, you know, and then I look over, I'm like, I wonder if I can paint that. So we're gonna give it a shot today and just follow along with me. We're gonna add some really cool color on this painting here. You're gonna wanna get your primary colors, which are red, blue, and yellow. Some of you guys guessed that on our Facebook too. And then you're also gonna need some plain white acrylic paint as well. So let's go ahead and grab one of your larger size brushes and let's cover some of this canvas up pretty quick here. All right, so I'm gonna take this guy and I'm gonna put a little bit of plain blue on my brush. Got my colors all over here. And I'm gonna just do that back and forth technique with some of this plain blue. And what I'm gonna do is not take it too far down. All right, just a little bit. And again, I'm extending some of that paint as far as I can go without putting any more paint on my brush, and that's helping it dry off a little bit. You can see this canvas has a little bit of texture on it because all I did was put some gesso over an old painting. It's a good tip for you to save money if you just want to keep just adding more and more paintings on top of paintings is fine. Again, we're practicing right now, so I want you to get the hang of it and not spend tons of money doing it. So I'm going to just take it about, I'd say 1/3 the way down. That seems about right. Okay, and we're gonna just go right across here. Don't worry about like any big time straight lines or anything going on right here either. And you're more than welcome to paint your edges. I leave that entirely up to you if you want to do that. And I'm just about out of my blue on here. So that means I better be done with it here soon. Okay, boom. Nice and pretty. Just like that. Now what I noticed too is we had, in that sky I was looking at, there was some kind of cool white clouds, just kind of dusting the tops here. So I'm gonna take that same brush that has the blue on there, put a little bit of white, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a little bit of a light blue. Okay, see, it already had blue on that brush. And I'm going to make a little bit of a light blue. We've done this technique before. We saw this kind of gradient effect with some of our skies before. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to kind of fluff up some clouds here. All right, not this back and forth. I'm going to do the back and forth technique first. You can see the streaks here of these clouds. And we're going to head it down just a little bit on our canvas here. No sense on going too far. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put a little bit more white on here. And it had these kind of almost very light, fluffy clouds just kind of popping out here. I'm just adding these little kind of random brush strokes, feathering almost brush strokes. But these clouds were just so light and so kind of full of air. And I'm just gonna break up some of that blue sky. But I kind of have this diagonal motion going on here. I'm going to put a little bit more white when I run out and just fluff up some more clouds here. Fluff it up. There you go. Like a boss. You got this. And you can see it's just these kind of cool highlights here if you run out a little bit more white, or if you want to add some brighter white highlights on these clouds. Feel free. But that's what it was kind of doing. I was like, oh, that's kind of look cool. Looks like some wind took them up in the air or something. All right. And I broke up that sky. You can still see a lot of that blue, but I just kind of broke it up. All right. Believe it or not, that's what it was kind of doing. Might not be exactly like it, but at least gives me an idea. All right, I'm gonna set that brush in my water cup, put that away, and then I'm gonna take another kind of size brush, maybe a large or medium sized brush, and what I'm going to do is add plain yellow onto that guy, just some plain yellow. And down here I'm going to add this bright yellow. Now this is a really bright yellow. You can see it just comes right onto that white canvas, and boy oh boy does it really shine. We're going to take that right across. Again, no real perfections. It's just some real quick steps here. But when you're at home, take your time, you know, practice it, take your time. It's not a race, all right? We're just figuring out techniques, figuring out colors now. So that's really bright right there, and I know that sky wasn't exactly that bright, so I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of red on my brush and mix it into my yellow, making some of that orange. We did that on the last scene right there where we had that crazy bright sky. I need my sunglasses for that one here, but this one I'm just going to add just some of those little streaks and just break up some of this down here. Now you're already kind of seeing that big, huge white band in the middle. You're like, what the heck is going to go on there? Well, it's going to be a color that kind of actually separates these two. It almost makes it look like there's two different skies. And believe it or not, they're going to be clouds, but they're going to be certain color clouds that we're going to make. I don't think we've made this color yet. Boom. There you go. Hopefully you guys got some good answers from that random raffle question last time. Those 3 movies that star Val Kilmer. Random, right? That's what it's all about, man. We're going to just throw some random questions at you. I'll throw some art questions. I'll throw some fun random ones at you. You can see I've kind of broken that up. Add those little streaks of that orange right there. You can make some darker orange streaks. You can do all that if you'd like, but I'm just going to leave it like that for now. I'm going to go ahead and set this guy in my water cup and switch over to a new, more of a medium-sized brush. All right. So with this one here, we're going to add. So I got my light. I got my white, my light blue, my blue. I'm going to go ahead and just take the rest of this blue and mix it into a lot of this white here. I'm going to still keep some of that original white, but I want to make a lot of that light blue. Now the color that really popped out to me and stood out was this like really pretty color, and I was like, wow, okay, I want to try to make that. So I'm going to take that light blue, I'm going to take just a tiny smidge of red onto my brush here, and I'm going to make this really light purple. It was really pretty, it stood out, it was like, wow, look at that. And that's going to be a lot of the color of our clouds here, and I'm going to do that circular motion. I'm going to start in the middle here, adding some of that nice circular motion clouds here, but boy, it really just stood out. It was like, wow, what is that? Now, if you want, you can add a little bit more blue in there, a little bit more darker, but I'm just gonna add this real light violet kind of color here. In fact, if you want, I can put a little bit more red in there and make it shine a little bit more, but you don't want too much red in there. But what that does, it just makes that purple, a little bit more purple. And what the white does, that changes the whole like look of the paint. It really kind of makes it look like a more pastel paints. So I'm gonna do that circular motion. I'm gonna make those kind of like cool clouds with a little, almost like the roundish tops there. And you can do some different clouds, whatever you'd like. But again, these nice circular motion ones here. And I'm not gonna come too much into my yellow yet. I'm still letting that dry off a little bit, but the blue should already be starting to get dry. What I'm doing now is doing that circular motion with these clouds, but I'm getting rid of that obvious line. You can see some of that little bit of line from the blue and the white. I'm getting that separation going now by adding some of these puffy clouds. And you see what we did. We started with our furthest thing back and we added stuff on top. And what that does, so you don't have to outline every single little detail. So it helps to start with the furthest thing back. You'll see just about every artist do it out there. You start from the furthest back and then you work your way forward with these different layers. I'm just gonna go ahead and add some of this purple down here. Again, trying to stay a little bit away from that yellow and orange as it dries. But what these clouds really do is it adds the illusion that there's some separation between these colors. All right, so you can see you've got this kind of yellowy sky down here. You got these purple clouds down here. And now you've kind of got your base coats. This is where you can go in, you can add more blues, more reds. You can even add more white and add like little highlights. If you want like some really bright highlights, we've done this before. I'm gonna add some really bright highlights on these clouds, like maybe something just caught these, and just a little bit of light on the tops here. Again, what I'm doing is just dabbing, almost kind of turning the brush, sometimes using like just the corner of the brush, and just adding these little textures in these clouds. Here, I'm going to add some more up here. And you can go back and forth. Now that you kind of know, you can kind of get a practice for, you know, these clouds, but you can like say like, you know, I just want to add a little bit more highlight in this cloud up here. I'm just going to add a little bit white right here, right now. Just add a little bit of streaks while I have a little bit of white left on my brush. And I'm going to break up some of these back here. And I can just barely touch them. But it adds that little bit of pizzazz. And then I'm going to go over here. Now don't forget, bring some of these highlights down below here. Break up some of those clouds in here, make it look like you got some in front of the other. Give that illusion that there's some pretty good depth. Here, I'm going to add some clouds here just so you can see what I'm talking about. Have some brighter clouds in front, a little bit darker in the back, and that just adds just a really cool feature to this painting. It's kind of looking like that sky I saw just on the drive home. Find what inspires you. You know, go around. I'm gonna be doing some like off-site, on-site kind of stuff. I'm gonna go around and I'll bring the camera with me. We'll go head out and we'll just do some paintings outside. I'm gonna bring in some special guests in here too. We're gonna do some awesome paintings together. Yeah, some fun stuff. We're gonna have a good time. Again, we're just working on some clouds, getting a feel for it. We'll be moving on to some more different items and naturescapes and things like that. We'll bring it all together eventually. But for now, work on it. Enjoy it. If you want to, you can even add some highlights. That brush got a little bit of blue and white on there. I'm gonna take that away. I'm gonna take a smaller brush. I'm gonna add some yellow into my plain white, making a real bright yellow. Check this out. I'm going to add some highlights down here. Make it look like there was some maybe kind of a real bright color just happening right in the middle there. Maybe the sun was kind of setting down there, just adding a little bit of prettiness to it. Just break up some of that orange and yellow, adding some cool highlights. If you want to, you can add a little bit of yellow on your brush and add some puffy clouds here, just kind of making it so not much of a line. Add some of that white, add some of that orange, and you just do that. You just play around with it. Just mess around with these colors, mess around with your painting. Everyone's going to have their own take on it. You will too. Boom. Side to side. Brush is almost dry. Just adding some cool highlights. All right, guys. So that is my time here for you. So again, thanks for joining in, Brushing Up with Shaun. I look forward to seeing you at the next episode. Keep rocking it, man. You guys got this, all right? You're doing a great job keeping up with me. Send me your photos too to the Facebook Brushing Up with Shaun, and we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.